Okay. Junior. My cat just went back behind my chair and it's like a rocking thing. Oh, there he is. Hi, buddy. I just didn't want to rock on him. Hi, bud. Come here. Welcome to the stream. I see a few people are here already. Fantastic. Nice to see you tonight. I'm happy to have you. Come here, bud. You coming up or no? Hi. Come here. I think the people would like to see you. Hi. Come here. He's taken his sweet time. Okay. He used to be a little less camera shy. Oh, is he leaving? Sorry, this is my cat I'm talking about. Hello. How are you? Welcome to uh, a personal kind of live stream where I'm going to be. Okay, he left. Sorry. My cat just left the room. So I'm going to shut the door so he can't come back in. But yeah, hi. This is the stream that I mentioned back in my stream a couple days ago when I was streaming about Oz and Illuminati, which, by the way, thank you all so much for showing up for that. Oh, thank you. Um, it made a huge difference and it was a big confidence boost, I guess. That video was very well attended and had a good number of views over the past couple days. It really makes a big difference. And it helps me know that some of the choices that I'm making for the future of my channel are positive because you guys are on board. You're on board before you even necessarily know what the changes are that I'm going to make. So I love that. Oh, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, guys. Yes, today is my birthday. uh, I had a fun time out there. Me and my fiance went to a nearby theme park. Um, what we did not realize before we got there was that it was going to be like the field trip day for every school in the region because it's like the last week of school. So when we pulled in, there were like 30 buses lining up and dropping off groups of kids and just like swarms of children of all ages filing into the park. And we were like, oh boy. Because we had this goal of we want to go to this park on my birthday. And so we took the day off so we could go to this park. And we were like, okay, it's gonna be busy, but like let's see, because we weren't the only like non-field trip private individuals who showed up there that day. Today is that day, and it it didn't work. We stayed for a couple hours until I got just generally overwhelmed and overstimulated by the number of people, the amount of screaming, the feeling of like if a child near me like drops their stuff on the ground, I'm not their chaperone, but I like do I need to be chasing after kids all day and be like, "Hey, is this your towel that you dropped?" Like, "Oh, there's your friends. They're calling you." And I'm like, "No, no, I shouldn't." Um thank you. Thank you guys. Um so it's like because I work with kids on a day-to-day basis now in my day job. So there's a part of me that's very like much more than I used to be aware of like kids and what they're doing. Yeah. Exactly, Mina. Like it's hard to take a day off when there are kids around. Um because they're not your kids and they're not your students necessarily because I'm not their teacher, but it's like I just feel a responsibility as an adult. And I was like, okay, I'm not here to work. I'm here to have fun. And so like if I can't have fun, then I can't be here. And that's basically what it turned into. But it's okay because it was still a good time while we went. We were just there for a short time. And then we ended up leaving and going and having lunch somewhere. And my fiance is a chef, so we very thoroughly reviewed the food that we got amongst ourselves. We didn't like say it to the people around us, but there were some questionable choices made. But I don't mind. I enjoy that kind of thing. If I go to a restaurant and I enjoy my experience, I love it. If I go to a restaurant and I get to complain about my food to my chef boyfriend and we can like talk shop, I love it because I don't get a lot of opportunities to talk shop with him. Okay, this is what I get confused by. So hold on, it's giving me. Oh, that's fine. It's giving me a low Wi-Fi signal, and I think it's gonna make the stream come out choppy or slow, which is disappointing because it shouldn't. But let me know if it does. In the future, I think I'm going to try to plug in an Ethernet cable. I got this like big adapter that has like 12 different plugs on it for a bunch of different types of things. So one of those things is an Ethernet cable, but I don't know where in this room to plug the other end. So TBD, you know, like the router is not up here in this room. So anyway, I had some birthday fun. I got a cupcake, and last night my fiance got me a Fudgy the Whale. So still working on that. It's gigantic. It's so dense. Okay, see, this is what I thought. This is what I thought, is that it would be very choppy. Hopefully now it's recovered because I don't have the Wi-Fi warning on right now. But let me know. Let me know what's going on, okay? All right, give me 2 seconds. I need to just close my door now that my cat is not hanging out. Because I don't want him getting any funny ideas. Oh, thank you guys. Okay. Thank you for letting me know what's going on with the stream quality because I want it to be good. And I'll keep my eyes out for the Wi-Fi warnings. Okay. So let's get to it. Hi, hello. I am here today for a few different reasons. One, it's my birthday. And on a day that is like, it's about like me and my life and whatever. And by the way, Aphrodite has the same birthday as me. Remember I was saying in the last stream, there's always like something always happens on June 7th? Aphrodite was born on June 7th. Hello. Okay? Just saying. It's a good day for me to catch up with you guys and just kind of talk about personal things. I've done that every now and then on this channel, and I feel like a birthday is a good day to let you know how I'm doing as a person, aside from content stuff, and I want to talk about some content plan updates, and just kind of like, you know, like how I'm doing. Because I'm sure you guys have noticed over especially the past year and 2 months, year and 1 month or so, I've been very all over the place with my channel. And I have mentioned a few times kind of vaguely that it has to do with my health. So I'd kind of like to make sure that you guys are aware of what's up. I'm okay. I'll start by saying that. I'll start by saying, like, I am not in danger. I am not, like, I do not have, like, a life-threatening thing going on. So put your mind at ease there. It's more of trying to manage a few co-occurring, something like that, co-occurring mild to moderate things that when they all stack up together become overwhelming and make me need to take breaks. So I want to get into talking about that. I'm going to go through a long story of my history, but I'm going to try to keep it on the shorter side. Before I do, let me just make clear, and I'm going to put this in a pinned comment. I have it in my description right now, but just to be 100% certain, please note, this video, it will include discussions of my personal physical and mental health journey. I am not a medical professional, nor am I giving you medical advice in this video. I am just here to share my experiences and connect with my audience. If you are feeling similar symptoms to mine, please consult a medical or psychological professional. Please do not rely solely on my video for guidance. Okay? If we can agree on that. I trust you guys. You're all smart, but just in case. So, let me just start from what feels like the beginning of what's relevant to why I've been in and out of my channel and why I'm going to change things up moving forward. So, in 2017, I was first officially diagnosed with ADHD and anxiety and depression, and first started taking mental health medications to help me navigate that. Later in at the end of 2017, I moved across the state of Connecticut to the other side, to where I met my fiance and where I have been living for the past 5 or so years. Before about 1 year ago, when I moved back to my hometown, which is where I am now. From 2018 to 2023, I was managing my mental health symptoms pretty well, with really just kind of the focus on ADHD and some anxiety, depression. I had a primary care who also could prescribe my mental health meds. Oh, thank you, Captain. Thank you so much. And as well as, holistically keep check on my physical health as well. As I mentioned in the last video, I had a weight loss surgery at the end of 2022, in October 27th of 2022, because my weight has always, always, always been a problem for me. Or when I say a problem, I mean out of my control. I've always had trouble managing my weight, and Mr. Buddy would really like to come back in. And while I am fully on team body positive, and at the time that I was heavy, I never felt that I was ugly. My weight loss did not have to do with my physical appearance. It had to do with my knees hurt, my body hurt to carry me around. And especially at that time, I had a job that was very sedentary. I knew I was not going to be able to put in the work the old-fashioned way to lose weight. And especially by 2022, it had been such a long journey with weight that I felt like drastic action was needed. And, on the other side of it, about 2 years after the decision was made, I still feel like it was a really great choice for me personally. Yes, that is Jupiter when I say Mr. Man. So now he wants to come in. Hold on. Hello. Hi. You gonna stick around? Okay. Hi. Okay, so he might jump up. We'll see. So in those years of 2018 through 2022, that was kind of my medical focus, was getting used to having a mental health diagnosis. What did I say? Yeah, my medical focus, was getting used to and living with and navigating having a mental health diagnosis, taking meds, how those meds impacted me, trying to find the right thing for me, and finding the right dosage and all of that stuff. And then at the same time, my weight going up and down and up and down. I gained a lot of weight, and then I went on keto, and then I lost a lot of weight. And then once I got off of keto, I just gained a lot of weight again. And I struggled a lot with self-monitoring and self-moderating, how to handle the balance balance is not balance is not something I'm good at. All things in moderation is not something that I'm good at. I'll just be frank about that. Um, so he came and left. This man made me stand up out of my chair during my stream to let him into the room, and he didn't even come say hello. Hi, come here. Come over here. Okay, we'll see if he has the respect to come sit on my lap. Come here. Hi. Come here. Come up, please. Please? Hold on, I'll get him. Hi. Oh, just come say hello. There. See, he's huge. He's huge. Hi. Okay. Hi. Okay, so this is my young man. He just turned 3. He just turned 3. Yeah, he's the biggest he's ever been. Come here. Come here. What was that? I don't know what that sound was either. Yeah, I've been teaching him how to walk on a harness, by the way. Complete side note. I've been teaching him how to walk on a harness. I've been taking him on walks. I've been thinking about starting just like a tiny side channel where I just like live stream our morning walks, or make little videos of them. Hi. So let me know in the comments below / in the live chat if you'd be interested in that kind of thing. So anyway, actually that's, now that he's here, I'll mention, at the same time that, hi, that I was from 18 to 2022, right? Or yeah, up until my weight loss surgery and stuff. He's laying down. Okay. We had several medical emergencies with with our cat Dixie, who is now the patron saint of our channel because she passed away in October of this past year. So that was very stressful for us. We had a lot of job stress, myself and my fiance, in various different ways at various different times. There was a pandemic. There was a lot of things going on. I guess these are all the factors that in some way or another impacted my mental health, my physical health. We moved a few times, all sorts of stuff. At that time, I was really focusing on my fashion and makeup lifestyle channel, Pretty Hippie Me, which I've left abandoned, and which I would like to continue posting on. But I think I'm still trying to figure out how to balance, how to moderate, having multiple channels. Like I'm no Peter Mon. I'll just go ahead and say it. He can manage a lot of things that I simply cannot. He's also got the energy that I do not have. So when I was doing my fashion makeup lifestyle channel 2019 to 2021, end of 21, I talked a lot on there about my weight struggles and I was new to YouTube. I was new to paying attention to YouTube culture. I was watching a lot of Smokey Glow and other commentators like that. But at the same time, if I brought up similar issues on that channel, it didn't really go over well because my audience there was mostly like guys who liked to watch me try on clothes. And I say that because I can see my analytics. I can see who you are watching me. So, and on this channel, I mean that in the most lovely way. On my other channel, I mean that in the most kind of way. So, at the end of 2021, moving into 2022, I wanted to branch out and make a separate channel, Hannah Needs to Yell, which was meant to be a channel that was for yelling for rants, reactions, kind of quick take things, not necessarily the deep dives that they grew into. And listen, I don't uh I don't dislike the deep dive videos that I made, but it's just not what I originally intended the channel to be. Um so we'll get to that in a second. But in 2022, I had a sorry, I'm trying to make sure that I say things in the right order so that it makes sense. Um in 2022, early 22, is when my channel took off, Hannah Needs TL. And I was thrilled about it because I was not expecting it in any way. And thank you all, because to this day, I know that I would not have this, people can poo poo a channel that's 12,500 subscribers, but to me, that's a badge of honor. Like, I wouldn't be where I'm at without all of you guys. You guys who are here right now in this chat of like 19 people, you are my longest, like most diehard supporters. I see your names. I know who you are. And it means so much to me because I've been so roller coaster all over the place. And I'm sending you the most parasocial platonic love that I can. Because it's those consistent people who keep coming back who make me want to keep coming back. So thank you so much for that. And most of you found me back in the beginning of 22 during the Creepshow art stuff. Still to this day, my most viewed video, and probably always will be. Once the Creepshow art video took off, I felt like, which if you're new and if you're not aware, in the beginning of 2022, there was a big drama with two creators named Emily Artful and Creepshow Art. I made videos covering that, and one of my videos was a long, like 2.5 hour video, which became pretty popular. After that, I felt like, okay, this is what the people like. This is what the people want. Let me give the people what they want. And I also did have some bones to pick with some creators. And so the videos that I made in 2022 were passion projects. And at the same time, because I don't know how to have balance, because I am not good at moderating, I, if you know what ADHD is and you know what hyperfocus is, I have inattentive ADHD. So I have a tendency to hyperfocus. I am all in or I am not in on something that I'm doing. And in the case of the videos that I was making, I was all in, which meant it was very easy for me to lose sleep over my videos because I was constantly having ideas, constantly feeling the need to edit, or talking with an editor, or like constantly trying to make it the best that it could be. And especially because of how YouTube is and how it works and how it wants creators to pump out content as fast as you can. And my videos were very spaced apart. I was constantly like, I just need to push, I need to work so I can get this video done, so I can upload it, so YouTube will not be mad at me, essentially. And please understand that while I'm talking about my channel and how my channel is impacting my health, I do not mean my audience. My audience has always only been gracious and kind and understanding, and so like 1,000% telling me and asking me to prioritize and take care of my mental health. So if I'm annoyed with how I handled YouTube, that has to do with me, has nothing to do with you all. So please understand that as we continue talking about YouTube and talking about this channel. So that's when my insomnia really started. was in spring of 2022. And I'm still dealing with it now. So basically, for about 2 years, I have been living on anywhere between 4 to 6 hours of sleep a night, which is tough. And um, I've gotten to 6 hours of sleep a night thanks to the help of sleep medication that I've been taking for a few months, since around October, November of 2023. But aside from that, there's just been a lot of anxiety and stressors alongside the push that I was pushing myself with my YouTube channel, and a lot of life things going on that just caused a lot of anxiety, caused a lot of stress, made it easy for me to wake up in the middle of the night and hard for me to go back to sleep after I woke up in the middle of the night because I would get the racing thoughts. And a lot of times, ideas that seemed really good, like, oh, I should get up right now and edit while I remember this thing that I want to add into the video. Or, oh, I should get up right now and prepare to stream. I can do an early morning live stream. I can do an early morning live stream talking about topics of the day, because that is more of what I have wanted to do, is kind of, like I said, quick reaction, rant, hot take kind of stuff, rather than only the deep dives. So I think back in the beginning of 23, I tried to do a bit of that early freaking morning. Not my best idea, because I was already sleep deprived for about a year by then. I think that I did not recognize my sleep deprivation until around the time of my weight loss surgery in fall of 2022. By then, it was around 6 months of not being able to sleep at night, or at least not being able to sleep more than like 4 to 5 hours. And as I was consistently, continuously talking to doctors about my weight loss journey, it was a very, it was like beautifully managed, and I had so much guidance, and I had classes that I took, and I had a nutritionist that I worked with, and I had my surgeon that I worked with, and then there's a different APRN who I've followed up with since, and the nutritionist, and it was this very protected, surrounded, supported environment. And so I was talking about how like I couldn't sleep and I don't know why, and it's been about 6 months now of me not sleeping, and I don't know if the surgery will have anything to do with that. And so it was kind of this question mark over me from that time, since like October of 22. Surgery happens, and in the weeks after the surgery, when I was home recovering, and that was all that I had to do, and when I also took time off of YouTube in my mind, mentally, because I was home recovering from surgery, I had a solid 2.5 weeks in there of sleeping normal. And so I thought, oh, okay, my insomnia is over. Thank God. I was just like nervous about the surgery, and now everything is fine. But as I mentioned, I'm going on 2 years of insomnia now because I was wrong. It was not over, because once I went back to life and was no longer taking 2 weeks off, I went back to stress, and I went back to waking up in the middle of the night and not being able to get back to sleep. And I'll mention here that here in my late 20s is not the first time that this has been true for me. Recently, I've remembered that when I was in high school, I absolutely would have days where I would wake up at like 3 in the morning and fight to get back to sleep. And it would always be this, the fight, the struggle was, okay, I'm awake at 3 a.m. I have these racing thoughts. Do I stay awake and just be tired today? Or do I try to go back to sleep and fight to get back to sleep? But by the time I get back to sleep, it takes about 2 hours, then it's about time for me to wake up to get ready for school. So what's the point? Because I can't get much sleep, if any. But if I get up early, then I could at least like work on that paper, or I could, use the time to write. I used to do a lot of creative writing when I was in grade school, and I would have story ideas that popped in my head, or I would have papers that my procrastinating, undiagnosed ADHD self needed to finish by the next morning. So, there were always ways that I could use the time if I woke up early, or I could fight to get back to sleep, not really get back to sleep, or by the time I do get back to sleep, I'm only sleeping for like a half hour before my alarm goes off. So then it just feels like the time is wasted and it's just a bunch of frustration. So fast forward 10, 11, 12 years, this came back again. And I believe it started with the pressure that I put on myself surrounding my YouTube channel in the spring of 22. And then once I had my weight loss surgery, I had a couple weeks of respite. But then going back into like normal life in the end of November, it all came back because there was the big end of the year push. And then going into 2023, I wanted to try out new things, and it just kind of coalesced, I guess. So, okay, my cat has left officially, so I'm going to go shut the door again. Give me just a minute. Everybody take a breath. Take a moment. I know I'm sharing a lot. And again, if this conversation is not for you, that's okay. If this is too deep, or if it feels like stressful, you don't have to watch it, or you don't have to watch it right now. It's okay to take a minute. That's always been something that's been important to me on my channel. I want to continue letting that be important. So take a breath. I'm going to go shut the door. I'll be right back. I'm going to say about myself what I have said about other creators, that you are not in the moment that I am in. You are listening to me talk about it, but you don't have to carry any stress for what I'm going through. Especially because, as I'm going to tell you, I'm on an upward trajectory now. So hopefully, by the end of this, you'll feel more hope. So, early 2023. My Wi-Fi is low again. Hold on. I don't know why it does this randomly. I'm waiting for the bars to come back up. Oh, 2 bars? Buffering. Okay, we're back. Okay, I think the Wi-Fi is good again. Okay. So, early 2023. My fiance had a job change that turned out to be much more stressful than he expected it to be. And some of his stress rubbed off on me. I'll just put it that way. And I was going through very rapid weight loss from having just had my surgery, and relearning how to eat, how food works, what I could and could not eat, what I was deciding to eat or not eat based on my new metabolism, my new stomach. Experiencing a lot of just like new things with that, along with trying to put out more content and trying to build up my channel. And financially, we weren't doing great. We were, and still are, kind of always just under where we need to be. So um, we were trying to kind of in this place of always striving, always trying, and it made it more and more pressure that I put on myself to want to put out more YouTube videos because my channel is monetized, and so it's like more videos is more money, just put out content. And I don't like when that's my motivation to do anything. So I had a constant internal battle about that as well. This all kind of coalesced in May of 2023 when I went to my day job and had a meltdown and got sent to my doctor. And my doctor said, you need to take time off from work. And so that was also when I took my first break off of YouTube. I stayed home from work for about 12 weeks at the end of the day. And I also didn't upload to YouTube for a lot of last year because the combination of insomnia and anxiety fueling the insomnia, and my medication making me concerned because it was not managing these other symptoms, but also, of course, it wouldn't, because that's not what those meds are for. ADHD meds are not meant to help insomnia and like help you sleep. If anything, they do much the opposite. And like I was really struggling with like how all of it was supposed to work together. And the funny thing is, like, in early 2023, I don't know how to describe this other than like I could feel from afar that I was headed toward a breakdown. In like February, it was just this feeling of like, I don't know how much longer I can hold on like this in the way that I was. So I had made arrangements for my fiance and I to move back to my hometown. And that ended up happening in June of last year. But in the meantime, it was just, it was rough. I was very tired. And I was putting a lot of pressure on myself and not seeing the payoff equal, like the risk was not worth the reward. The paycheck was not worth the work, essentially, like that kind of thing. There's something on well, also in early 23, I did do a full panel mental health reevaluation because at that time I was considering whether or not I might be diagnosed with autism. I was not, which is something that I find interesting because I think I have a lot of symptoms that could line up with autism, but with ADHD there's a lot of things that could be ADHD or could be autism or could be both. So it's kind of a I'll trust the professionals ultimately. But so that was something that I, like this existential reevaluation of who I was going on, as well as my weight drastically dropping so that I looked very different. Like every week I looked like a different person. And then unhappiness at my job, my fiance unhappy with his job, a lot of things. So I left work in May of 23, moved back to my hometown in June. All throughout, I think I didn't go back to any kind of work until August. And when I did, I went to a new job. And during that time in between, I was trying really hard to figure out the insomnia thing. That was my main focus. And it took like I also the state of Connecticut has a paid leave program that it doesn't go through your employer. It just goes through um it's Connecticut paid leave. It's like a state program where you can get paid leave. The paperwork and the process of that is it can be fine or it can be a goddamn nightmare. So there was it's really a good program. Except when like there's just a lot of freaking paperwork, and it was like you have to go to this appointment, you have to get this thing from your doctor. We're not going to find it from you, and I'm like, I am the one who is suffering. I am the one who is freaking can't sleep, has no brain left. That was a big feeling that I had that time, and I still have to an extent, like because of the sleep deprivation. I still feel, and at that time I felt even more so, like my brain was not and is not the brain that I had in like the beginning of 2022. I just feel less sharp. I feel less quick to analyze, less quick to connect dots, all of the things that I love to do that just feel far from me these days. And not that it's not able to come back. I think that the more I get into sleeping better, I think that it will. That's a thing. But it's been so long of me not sleeping properly, 4 to 6 hours of sleep a night, that it's now, I have concerns for my, like, I'd love to have a brain scan just to see what's going on. But I also know that, like, there are people in the world who live on 5 hours of sleep a night. God bless them. I am not somebody who can. God love and God bless the people who can live happy, energetic, thorough lives, organized, successful, etc., on 5, 6 hours of sleep a night for 30, 40 years of their life. I'm just not that girl. And there's times that I wish I was, but I'm just not. So I feel like my brain is not up to snuff. And that was really bothering me during this summer of 2023 time period. Look at how reactive my skin is. I touched my chest and now there's just a freaking, anyway, that's why my face is all red too. And so I felt a lot of like embarrassment about trying to go back to YouTube because this was Colleen Gate. This was one of the most monumental things that took place on YouTube, the Colleen Ballinger stuff that was happening in summer of 23. And I kept wanting with all my heart and soul to put together a similar type of deep dive that I had made about Creepshow art, but about Colleen Ballinger. But at the same time, it was just this like this feeling that I don't know if this is really a great picture, but this is what's coming to mind. It's like if you are swimming in a frozen lake and trying to surface, but there's a sheet of ice over top of you. And I couldn't break through that ice to surface. And I kept trying. And that's why you'll see in my videos from fall of last year, me talking about like, oh, I'm going to make this Colleen video. I'm going to make this Colleen video. And then I never did because I couldn't. I simply couldn't. My brain wasn't ready. I still wasn't sleeping well. And I'll go ahead and say, the job that I got in August of last year, I love it to pieces. It's also a much more demanding job than the job I had throughout 21, 22, and the beginning of 23, when I was making a lot of my Pretty Hippie Me videos and the beginnings, the first chapter of my Hannah Needs TL channel. That job that I had was very low demand. It was like a reception job where if nobody was there for me to tell them which hallway to go down, and if nobody was calling me, asking me a bunch of questions I didn't know the answer to so I could forward them on to somewhere else, anyway, it's a long story. Then I had nothing to do but stare at a wall. And my brain did not like that. So I came up with things to do, like deep dive YouTube videos. And so that's what I mean by, like, in that time period, they were passion projects. I was not unhappy while I was making those videos. I felt like I was doing the Lord's work, taking care of some things that needed to be taken care of. I was frustrated with how long it took me to do, but I was not mad I was doing it. You know what I mean? But then come August of 23, I've moved back to my hometown. I have gotten a new job that is much more demanding during my time. I spend less time there for sure, but every minute that I'm there, I am working, I am busy. Whereas at my previous job, I had 8 hours a day to sit and stare at a wall, or I could use that time to build a YouTube channel. So I no longer, since August, have had the same kind of time that I used to have for the deep dives. Excuse me. In August to September, I would say, in like October of 2023, in July of 23, I changed to a different med manager since I had moved across the state rather than the primary care I had been with. And we started working together on trying out sleep medications for the first time in my life. We tried a couple that didn't really work for me. And then in October, we found trazodone. I take Vyvanse for my ADHD and my binge eating disorder. And I take sertraline and I take trazodone for sleep. By the way, word to the wise, if you are having trouble getting Vyvanse, hold on, no, I could save this till later, but just remember, Vyvanse is a 2-function medication. Yes, it's used for ADHD, but it's also used for binge eating disorder. It's the only med on the market for binge eating disorder, according to my medication manager. That will become important later on, but there are shortages on ADHD meds all throughout the country, various things happening in different states, and there's things that depending on what your diagnoses are, there's multiple ways to get these meds, is what I'm saying. But we'll get there in a second. The med manager that I had in July of 23, we started working on sleep meds. In October, we found trazodone, sertraline, and Vyvanse. No, I wasn't on sertraline in the fall. I went back on sertraline in the spring of this year. So it was just Vyvanse and trazodone to help me sleep. I started getting on a good path with sleeping pretty consistently, not necessarily 8 hours, but better, at least more consistent, more like 6 to 7 hours, which was pretty good for me at that time. I was getting to a good place with my job. I was getting more and more hours. I was really building up into a positive beginning of 2024. Like, I don't know how to describe it other than like, I was looking forward to the new year with such hope because all of the pieces were falling into place. Everything was lining up for me to have a good year. And then everything changed when the insurance nation attacked. And when January of 2024 came, my health insurance changed from the Connecticut version of Medicaid to the like one step above. So a lot less stuff was covered, which means a lot. I was no longer easily able to access my Vyvanse. Oh, buddy, he wants to come back in here. Hold on, this is the last time. You gotta choose, buddy. Hi. Sorry for the brief cliffhanger. Hi, do you want to come up here? Hi. Okay. So, as I mentioned, I got diagnosed with. Hi, there you are. As I mentioned, I got diagnosed with ADHD back in 2017. And since 2018, when I moved out to the other side of the state, Vyvanse has been my go-to medication through. What are you doing? Through ups and down. Hi. Through thick and thin. Through stress and nothing. Why do you smell? Okay, sorry. Huh? Vyvanse has been essentially my cornerstone of my life. As far as me being organized, being productive, feeling able to do anything. So, in January, for me to unexpectedly lose it because of the shortage and because my insurance would not approve the name brand Vyvanse was an emergency. It felt like an emergency to me. So for the first January and February, so January and February of 2024 was the lowest point of my life that I think I've been in probably ever. I was in a panic. I was trying to figure out with the med manager that I had at that time how to get Vyvanse, how to get it approved. It was sitting on people's shelves. Oh, thank you so much. It was sitting on the shelves at the pharmacies near me, the name brand, but they wouldn't give it to me because my insurance was either not approving Vyvanse at all, or upon further suggestion, they would approve coverage for the generic, but the generic was completely out. And I had always had access to the name brand Vyvanse. That had never, ever, ever been a problem for me before, even though I had heard whispers of this shortage going on. But I was like, I don't know, because it's not short for me. Like, I've never had a problem getting it. Maybe it's just some unlucky pharmacies in other counties of the state or something. But then I realized it's an insurance problem. It's the generic versus the name brand. It's all of these complicated things that don't make any goddamn sense to me. Well, if you want to deep dive about that sometime. No, I don't even want to deep dive about it sometime. Read an article. It's very difficult to talk about. Yeah, Taya. Insurance is the worst sometimes. So in the first 2 weeks or so of 2024, I didn't really know what to do. I was trying to make things work. In the middle of January, I started taking another med kind of in place of Vyvanse until we could figure out how to get me Vyvanse. That was called Asteris, and it was not good for me. We started out with a dose. There's like 3 levels of dosage. We started with the middle dose because I was not on the lowest level of Vyvanse. So my manager said, well, we don't need to start with the lowest Asteris. Maybe let's start with the middle one. It was not good. It made me feel very jittery and gross. So I was like, okay, at the next meeting about 2 weeks later, I was like, okay, this is not working for me, but maybe it's not the med, maybe it's the dosage. So we went down to the lowest dose of Asteris, and it did not get better. I spent the month of February pretty much feeling like a zombie, is the best way I can describe it. As I mentioned before, I have a job where I work with kids. So it was very important to me that I did not let my kids know how I was feeling. So, masking, if you're familiar, even if you're not neurodivergent, I think we're all some kind of, what is neurotypical anyway, but even if you're somebody who knows how to code switch or knows how to present yourself differently in different situations, depending on who you're surrounded by, you can put on a happy face around kids, around your coworkers, around your family, around your clients, around whoever. It took all of my energy, but I was able to do it. Outside of the minute my first client walked in the door to the minute my last client left for the day, every other moment, I felt like a zombie. I felt like I was gonna fall over. If I ever had a break in the middle of the day, for that 30 minutes, I would feel like a zombie. As soon as someone walks in the room, hey, how's it going? As soon as they're gone, is the best way I could describe it. It also got to this point of like just feeling very numb, very emotionally numb. I also think like if you've been in that place before, you know what I mean. So I don't want to harp on it for too long because I don't want it to be triggering. This whole conversation is probably triggering, and I'm so sorry, guys. But that was February of this year, was trying to figure out why that was happening and wondering if it was one of those things where like the longer you're on a med and you adjust to it, then sometimes things get better, and it wasn't getting better, and what do I do to make it get better? And it was impacting my work, and I had taken on a big project for the spring semester, January through May, through the end of April essentially, and I was trying so hard and I was doing so much extra outside work for that project, and just feeling like my brain wasn't working. I still wasn't sleeping. I felt like a zombie when I was awake, and I was trying to do things that I just could not do. And my partner on the project had high expectations that I just felt like I couldn't meet. And I was trying my best, and it was not enough. And it was just a very confusing time because I've never felt that way before in my life. Certainly not for about 6 weeks, 5-6 weeks. So now we're going to get to the climax of this story. And again, please remember, what I have gone through is mine. You don't need to carry the stress of my story. I'm sharing it so that if you've gone through similar, you don't feel alone. And so that if you are going through similar, you can know that there's hope on the other side. I'm doing better. And that maybe there are some changes you can make so that you won't be going through it anymore. And I'll get to that in a moment. So hold on one second. I keep going to make sure that my door is shut because I'm just, I'm talking about deep shit. On February 29th, I went to the hospital for my mental health. And it was a good decision. It was a very positive decision at the end of the day. it led to, it was kind of the first, it was not the first domino that fell, but it was the most significant domino that fell on the path to me actually getting some help and finding some solutions. Um, Once I went to the hospital, I was basically allowed to cold turkey stop taking Asteris, because the more I talked with people about it, the more I was like, the main change has been that I can't get Vyvanse. I can only get Asteris, and Asteris makes me feel like shit. Like, I don't like having no Vyvanse, but taking Asteris makes me feel like I'm taking poison. Like, that's how it felt the last couple days that I was taking Asteris. It felt like putting poison in my mouth, and I was like, I don't have anything else to take, and I need meds. So I guess I have to take this, and so they let that be my last day taking Asteris. I took a couple days to cool down from Asteris. I was recommended to go start going to an IOP program for my mental health. That program did not work out because for a couple different reasons that ultimately came down to, I think I was not the proper client for an IOP at that time, because my main problem was my meds. Aside from the fact that that med was just sucking all the joy out of my life, I was not in general depressed. I was not like in general having thoughts I shouldn't have about what I could do to myself. It was more of like, this med is driving me crazy, and my med situation is tormenting me, is what was bothering me. So once Asteris was out of my life and I moved over to like Cymbalta, suddenly things started looking up. Things were more okay. And then, for a long story of reasons, I got off of Cymbalta. There was a period of time when I was just taking sertraline and trazodone for sleep. And I was talking to my med manager. I was frustrated because I was like, okay, so we figured out that Asteris was a problem, but what do I take instead? Because I can't have nothing. And sertraline, God loves sertraline. It is not a Vyvanse. It does not do what Vyvanse do. And basically the last appointment that I had with that med manager, I was like, well, what do I take instead? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, so how do I? He was like, I don't know. I was like, great. Because my medication concerns have to do, like my general med diet, the needs that I have are to counter my ADHD, my anxiety disorder, my social anxiety disorder that was diagnosed in 2023, that second diagnostic panel, and depression, as well as my binge eating disorder. Because that's a big part of why my weight has been such a struggle all my life. And it was one of the things that, after I had my weight loss surgery, Vyvanse worked together with how my brain and my stomach were rewiring themselves to relate to food in a much more healthy way, and not necessarily see it as a reward as much as a, necessary nutrient, but I was finding rewards other places. So when I was communicating this to my med manager, I was saying, like, whatever we do for meds, I would like to have maybe some kind of an appetite suppressant, some kind of something that helps the appetite, along with ADHD. And he didn't know any meds like that. And I was like, okay, so I can talk to my people through the surgery, the different medical professionals that I had like I said, it was a very supported, managed experience. There was a nutritionist, there was the surgeon, there was the APRN that followed up with me after the surgery. They knew all sorts of meds related to weight loss and post-surgery follow-up and appetite and diet and all of that. And I was like, great, let me give you their contact information. He didn't want it. So, okay, well, let me ask for their recommendations about meds that have to do with appetite. He didn't want to hear it. I said, okay, so you don't know what to do about this. You don't want to talk to somebody who does know. You don't want the recommendations from somebody who does know. And it seems like you don't want to research about it independently yourself because, we were having this conversation over months. If this was something that you wanted to research, you had months of opportunity to do so. So what do you want me to do? I have a diagnosed disorder. Like, people give a lot of credit or validity to bulimia, to anorexia, to different types of food and eating disorders. But I would like to see binge eating disorder in that group because it is a disorder. It is a disordered relationship with food, and it needs medicine sometimes. I took the medical route to address my weight because I knew I couldn't do it on my own. If the answer was simply for me to eat less, I would have done that decades ago. That's not enough for me. But he just seemed to kind of brush off my concerns in that regard. And so when we got to that last appointment and I was like, so what can I take that helps with ADD? What other med can I take for diet? What's the new plan? What do we do? Or are we just going to try and do Vyvanse? Like, keep petitioning the insurance to let me do Vyvanse? He was like, I can reach out to the insurance again, but they're going to say no. After I had called the insurance myself a couple days prior and talked to somebody who said that their whole deal was prescriptions and how to get prescriptions allowed essentially to be refilled. And they were like, yeah, if you call this number and let them know the list of past ADHD meds you have tried that have not worked for you, because I'm a little bit reactive to meds. I'm sensitive and there's some that really have not worked. Then if your doctor, because I couldn't, if your med manager contacts this number, gave me a phone number, let them know Hannah's history of meds. And if they see that you've tried a lot of different meds and Vyvanse is really the only one that works for you for ADHD, then they're more likely to just go ahead and allow it and fulfill the brand name Vyvanse because the generic is out of stock, but there was plenty of the brand name around me at the different pharmacies. So I told this to my med manager. He said that the person I spoke to was wrong and that wasn't going to work and he wasn't going to do it. And so then I said, well, okay, so what do we do? He said, I don't know. I think he asked me, what do I think we should do? It's like, I'm not the doctor. I'm not the med manager. I'm not the psych APRN who went to years and years of medical school, actually. So I don't know. But that was the last appointment that I had with him. And I think the same day or the next day, I reached out to my therapist and I was like, please, for the love of God, tell me that you know somebody who can help me, because you will not believe the conversation that I just had with my med manager. So the one positive thing about my insurance change that happened between 23 to 24 was that in 24, being just that one slightly higher level on the insurance scale, now the med manager who worked in the same office as my therapist would take me as a client. Previously on the Medicaid, she wouldn't take me. But now, with that slightly higher insurance, she would. My first appointment with this woman was March, middle of March. Some like March 20th comes to mind for some reason. I don't know if it actually was March 20th, but around that time. When I tell you, she's a lifesaver for me. I went into my initial consultation. The first meeting that we had was like an hour long. Tell me your life history. Tell me everything that's going on, instead of the follow-ups that we have now. I told her everything that had been going on. She was very quick to understand, very responsive, active listener, answered my questions, educated me about different things and different issues with the insurance and stuff. Instead of just like kind of saying no, she would say no and then tell me why so that I could understand. When I told her that I was having a really hard time getting my hands on Vyvanse, she looked at my list and she looked at my diagnoses and she stopped me to say, were you taking Vyvanse for your ADHD or were you taking Vyvanse for your binge eating disorder? I said, I was taking it for both. And that became the key to unlock the door for me to get my hands on Vyvanse again. And what I told her, and I'll tell you the same thing, I was very concerned that I was coming off as med seeking. I was very concerned that I was coming off as like obsessed with this one med. And I'm a little bit concerned that I might come off that way in this stream. All I know is I've tried a lot of ADHD meds through, and I will also say, I tried them very imperfectly. The primary care that I had over on the other side of the state, we like rapid fired through a bunch of meds too fast, in my opinion. Looking back now, we probably could have done that differently, but I was just like following the guidance of my primary care, you know? Thank you very much, Mina. It helps me to know I'm not coming off that way. I can't always tell how I'm being perceived. Thank you. So what I do know is that once we landed on Vyvanse, things clicked. Things started going right. There was a certain amount of balance of energy alongside whatever else is different about Vyvanse that makes it the special sauce that it is. I'm no chemist. I don't know what makes it work, but it does. And I was like, this is it. Oh, thank you to King. So throughout these months of 2020, of early 2024, when I didn't have Vyvanse, all I could talk about was, I need Vyvanse back. I want Vyvanse back. This is the only thing that works for me. This is the cornerstone of my life. Please help me get Vyvanse back. When can we get Vyvanse back? How do we talk to the insurance about ways and reasons that I should have Vyvanse? I was a broken record because it was my lifeline. And when this woman said to me, the reason that you've been having trouble getting Vyvanse is because when Vyvanse is, and listen to me if you're having similar problems with getting Vyvanse. When Vyvanse is coded to the insurance for ADHD, they're not going to start people off with Vyvanse because it's like a higher level med. They'll start you with all the other meds first because Vyvanse is fucking expensive. It's like $450 for a monthly supply for like 30 days because it's a friggin' monopoly or whatever. And then they came out with the generic, but then the generic was snapped up and nobody, like, there's none of it left. Anyway, so they don't start you out with Vyvanse because it's like a level 2 or level 3 med that you have to go through other levels first in order to be eligible to take Vyvanse. However, if you code Vyvanse for binge eating disorder, you will get it because Vyvanse is the only medication in the country for binge eating disorder. I had Vyvanse in my hands within 8 hours. And all I could do was like shake, because I had fought so hard with my previous medication manager, about how do I get a med that controls my appetite? How do I get a med that works well with ADHD and keeps my appetite suppressed, just like Vyvanse did? The amount of times that I mentioned to him my appetite, my diet, my weight loss surgery, my weight loss, these things go together well, and he did not connect the dots between Hannah needs an appetite suppressant and binge eating disorder. The only approved medication, according to my new med manager, is Vyvanse. I try not to think too hard about it now, because those 2.5 months in the beginning of this year were an absolute hellscape. And it's not fair for me to blame it all on him. But there's definitely times that it feels that way. So I got back on Vyvanse in the end of March, beginning of April of this year. It definitely was an adjustment after being off it for about 3 months. I I wish I could. Just kidding, allegedly, but like, I wouldn't mind. And can I say, thank you, Disney. Disney was somebody that I had been talking to behind the scenes, partly during this time period. When did we start talking Disney? Like in January? I don't know. She witnessed a good amount of this, and so when she's saying the change in my voice once Vyvanse was back in my system, she doesn't just mean like here on this channel. We've had some personal conversations. Like, thank you, Disney Dame, for everything you've been doing to help me with my channel and as a person. I really appreciate it. And she knows her stuff. She could testify if we needed to go to court about anything. She could testify. Ooh, that's something. Malpractice. Huh. I'm so sorry, Disney. Yes, I'm so sorry. I see Dame and then I always think female. I'm so sorry. So anyway, it's been you guys are nice. Taya, it's frustrating when professionals get tunnel vision. It's one of the first things they warned about in DSM class. Yeah. It's just when I look back on the conversations that we had, and again, my memory is limited. My brain is a little broken right now. Like, I still know for sure that I brought up so many times the appetite thing. And so it must be that this guy just like didn't know that Vyvanse was used to treat binge eating disorder as well as ADHD. But to me, I'm like, if this med only serves 2 purposes and you only know about one of those purposes, I like, are you not informed enough to be prescribing this med? Like, is this Is this like a little dangerous? Like, I don't know, you know? Like, that's got to be a problem, right? Like, if you only have to know two things about this med. Um, so anyway, like I said, it's not fair for me to blame those whole 2 months on this guy, but I have days that I want to. But now we're in a better spot. We're in a better spot. Like I said, um, there's hope. If you're in a situation like this, self advocate. Self advocate. You are not wrong about the symptoms you're going through. You are not wrong about how you are feeling. Yes, you do know how you're feeling. Yes, you do know what has worked for you in the past. Yes, you can keep an open mind because like I'm not a doctor. I'm not a med manager, and working with my new med manager is fabulous because if I'm wrong about something, she educates me about it while we discuss why I'm wrong about something, and I'm like, "Oh, fantastic. Let me soak up this knowledge because I don't pretend to think that I know more than a med manager or than a psych APRN or a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Like, I don't. But what I do know more about is what I've been experiencing in terms of symptoms over the past months or over the past weeks. What I have been feeling. Yes. Yes, Mina. Do it. Absolutely. Especially if your insurance covers testing, but even if it doesn't, the best thing you can do for yourself, especially for your own peace of mind, is testing. This gives me more courage to push for that ADHD test. My own doctor told me not to focus on labels and it would ruin my life. Your own doctor is incorrect. I listen. I understand to an extent where he's coming from because symptoms, especially ADHD symptoms, can fall under several different diagnoses. But you know what? It's worth it to take some testing to figure out which diagnosis because it helps you understand yourself so much better and it helps you understand what can be done about it to make your life better. If you don't know what your problem is, then it's really hard to talk to people about how to fix it. Or if it's not about fixing, if it's just about like understanding your own self and leaning into your strengths and your weaknesses and just understanding, oh, this is what my brain is good at. Maybe this is what I should be trying to do instead of working against my nature. You know? You know yourself. Trust yourself. You know your past. You know your present. You know if things are different for you now than they were a year ago, than they were 2 years ago, than they were a month ago. Talk about it. Talk their ears off about it. And if they won't listen to you, find somebody else who will. Let me see what Tay has to say. Remember, when you are a client/patient, the default is for the professional to respect your autonomy. And if they don't, exercise that autonomy and do what you can to help you. Thank you, Taya. Yes. Because I had been with this med manager since July of 23 and he had helped me through the insomnia, I was really trusting him when it came to the ADHD meds with figuring out a new substitute for Vyvanse because it seemed like I was going to have to face life without Vyvanse. And what my new med manager said to me is probably true. When I came to this med manager that I met in July, I was coming from a primary care office that already had me set up with the prescriptions that I needed. So I was just kind of transferring care over to this new guy who I could work with more easily because my primary care was now an hour and a half away across the state, and that was not reasonable for us to continue working together. So I was already a done deal package set when I arrived at his office, other than we were just adding the insomnia layer, which, easier for him to figure out. And at that time, my Vyvanse was covered and it was not a big deal. Once a real obstacle came in January when my insurance changed and I no longer had my lifeline, he didn't know what to do and he didn't care to find out. And I paid the consequences for that. My new med manager is fantastic. She's at least more experienced than this guy. And I don't know if there's an age difference between them, but there seems to be an experience level. She's like, I've been around the block a few times. And I was like, I believe you because you got me this med in 8 hours. Whereas this guy took weeks and gave up. So basically, it's been a rough beginning of the year. It was a roller coaster I did not expect to go on. And while I got Vyvanse back in March, end of March, early April, sometime around there, I have not gotten my shit together yet until about now. Because I needed to adjust back on to Vyvanse. Getting Vyvanse back in my system disrupted my sleep again. And so now we're at a decent spot where the Vyvanse is helping me in the daytime, coupled with I should stop drinking this caffeine. It is 10 p.m. God damn it. Fuck. God fucking fuck. Okay. Well, I'm going to have a rough night tonight. But that's why I should have stopped drinking this earlier. God fuck. So I'm still working on sleep. Working on how to get to sleep. It has caffeine, the drink that I'm swearing about. Sorry, guys. I'm aside from that. I know. Celsius is so much caffeine. It's 200 milligrams of caffeine. But I didn't drink the whole thing. There's still like a third of it in the can. I'm sorry. I'm working on it. I have a high tolerance for caffeine. But I do need to stop drinking caffeine before 10 p.m. So it's going to be a rough night. It's my own fault. Anyway, sorry. I'm embarrassed. I didn't know that. Panera lemonades are more than 200 milligrams of caffeine? Because that's gotta be a problem. Hoops. Anyway. So, all that to say, I'm finally at a good balance of what works for me while I'm awake and what works for me to help me sleep. Trazodone is getting me a solid 6 hours of sleep every night. What? 2 people died because they have about 300 grams of caffeine in a large. I didn't know about this. Wait, email me links. hannahneedstoyell@gmail.com because I want to talk about that. My God. So like they didn't, wait. I'm guessing like they didn't know that there was caffeine in it and then it just ended up like shooting their heart rate. That's crazy. That's insane. Yo, that's something. That is something. Thank you, Mina. Yeah. Charged lemonade. I missed this. I have not been paying a lot of attention to things. Oh. Plus, they had the drink subscription where you go unlimited refills. I missed this entire... Okay, so then this is actually a great segue. Ah, Panera did not disclose the amount of caffeine. That makes sense. So people were pounding multiple glasses a day. Yeah, yeah, that makes. Yep. So I'm sure they got okay. So yeah, send me info. But like that's fascinating. This is a good segue into kind of my channel because I know I've been talking a lot about myself and like kind of mentioning my channel, weaving in and out of that story. But you know, I haven't really been consistently doing my channel for about the past year. Oh, geez, Louise. It has 390 grams or milligrams of caffeine. Is this grams or milligrams? This mine says milligrams. But because grams make a big difference. On my Insta. Thank you so much, Mina. Okay, it is milligrams. Okay, because like, whoof, that was gonna be real rough. No wonder people were dying. Okay, and now I get the Wi-Fi buffer. Hold on. Just my Wi-Fi randomly deciding that we're not good anymore. We are down to 1 bar of Wi-Fi for no reason. Please. I have not moved. The router has not moved. Nothing has happened. I have not opened a bunch of tabs. Please. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I'm just letting the Wi-Fi wake back up. This is why I need to figure out how to do the Ethernet cable. Okay. I think we're good. See, I'm glad that Celsius has the forethought to say, if you're right, Disney Dame, that Celsius says the hard limit is 2 cans a day. At least they put that. I don't know if that says that on here or if that's like in their brand. Not recommended for people who are caffeine sensitive, children. Oh yeah, do not exceed 2 servings per day. It says it right there on the can. It's in tiny text, but at least it says it. At least they have the forethought to. Yeah, anyway. So, aside from Celsius being new in my life, because my fiance likes them, so I just started drinking them, and I might cut down on my Celsius intake. I've got a good thing going with my daytime meds. I've got a good thing going with my nighttime meds. Oh no, Mina, you're good. I got and my Wi-Fi is down. Not down, but it's lower. Why? Please. God above. Please. Wi-Fi. Would you? Could you? Should you? I can keep talking if it's not that bad on you guys' end, but on my end, this is the Wi-Fi symbol that came up back when you guys were saying I was sounding like a robot. So I'm hesitant to continue while it's doing this. Let me try cutting off my camera for a second. Oh no. See, Mina says Disney says I'm fine, but Mina says it's giving 2000s MSN call. So okay, I'm blurry for Taya. Okay, all right. I think I'm just going to tentative. Ooh. Okay. Okay. I think we're good. I'm going to try to move a little faster so that doesn't keep happening. I'm getting 6 hours of sleep a night, average, with trazodone. I have my Vyvanse back. Because I'm sleeping better, my brain is coming back. I think we've kind of, we've kind of honed in on the proper combination for me. And I think I have finally come to, the freaking Wi-Fi. Okay, I'm going to try cutting my camera and leaving my audio on to see what that does. If that helps. If it lets me do that. How do I turn off my camera? Midstream. There's got to be a way. No. Wait. Oh. The Wi-Fi says past my bedtime. We'll see. Wait, I'm going to try something real quick. Aha! Oh, and that helped. Wait. Oh, okay, so now we're back. Okay. If the Wi-Fi goes out again, I'm going to pull up that Dixie picture again. Patron saint Dixie. And Disney. Disney is essentially a patron saint at this point. So I think that on top of my meds and my health getting back together and my weight stabilizing and my eating being okay, and, I'm about a year and a half out from my surgery. Everything is going well. My vitamins are in check. Everything is good. I have finally come to be willing to admit that my channel, as it was before, was not what I wanted it to be. And it kind of got out of control, or it got out of hand, in that I decided to focus in on these deep dives, even though I knew, if you go back to the very beginning videos on my Hannah Needs DL channel, I would say in the beginning of those videos, this is a discussion channel. I want to hear from you. And I gotta say, it's very difficult to have a discussion and a discussion channel when we're not really having a discussion. I'm doing hours and days of research and presenting you with a multi-hour research thesis paper, and then saying, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That's not really a discussion. And what I wanted was to have discussions and not always feel like I had to be the person who's right. I wanted to be able to, put out a topic how I see it and listen to you and have a conversation. And have the point. I really appreciate channels where that's the point, is that we're all sharing and caring together. It's not just I come here with I feel like I got set up as some sort of authority figure that I don't feel like I am, in a way. It felt like I don't know how to say it other than that. I'm not special, I guess. I think about things the way that I think about them, but through meeting this community, I know that I'm not the only person out there who thinks like I do. I'm just not the only person, but I'm just somebody who decided to set up a YouTube channel. So yeah. What I'd like to do moving forward is more of this, to an extent, where I want to expand the topics that I'm talking about, and I'm not looking to just talk about influencers anymore because I haven't like it's hard for me to talk about stuff that I don't really watch. I don't really watch influencers these days. I think I got very burnt out of watching online influencers like hurt each other and hurt their audiences, and I felt like I was just saying the same thing over and over in each video about like, look, that guy's abusing their power. That lady's abusing their power. It's the same shit over and over again. Everybody's doing it. What a cynical world we live in. And that's not really what I wanted the message of my channel to be either. And when I'm the only one talking for an hour and a half, 2 hour long video, it can feel like that, you know? I want to do more live streaming like this so that we can have conversations in the moment like this. I want to talk about some influencer stuff. You know, I'm not completely writing it off, but I also want to talk about trials, legal trials, because I'm really watching a lot of legal stuff these days, and I want to one series that I want to do, or maybe a side channel or something, is watching cases, streaming trials as a juror who goes in not knowing anything about the case the way that a jury member would, and kind of showing, I think that my channel thus far with the deep dives has presented my channel thus far with the deep dives has essentially showcased how I think about things. And so I think that that would be interesting from a standpoint of, if Hannah was on a jury, how would she handle this case? It also provides a place for you if you want to consider, like, what would it be like to be on a jury? You can come to a channel like that to experience it as a jury member instead of, like, I love LawTube. Don't get me wrong. I love watching Emily D. Baker, Peter from Lawyer You Know, Ian Runkle, Natalie Lawyer Chick giving legal commentary. I think it's fascinating. However, watching a trial with a lawyer talking about it is very different than watching a trial as a juror, not knowing what a lawyer knows and just going in knowing my daily life and experiences, which is what jurors are chosen for not that lawyers can't, but, you know, trial lawyers, former defense attorneys, former DAs are a lot less likely to make it onto a jury because they know too much. They know how the sausage is made. They're not good candidates. People like me who don't know shit are better. And so I want to provide a space for people who want that experience to be able to come watch a trial without the lawyer's take and kind of have a more pure take and see how they think about it. And we can talk about it as a jury together. Oh, God damn it. And kind of having this uneducated take in the most positive way of saying that. And we can talk about it together just like a jury would. Because we are the jury at the end of the day. Any of us Americans at any time could be called for jury service. So we gotta get our practice in, I guess. I don't know. I just think it would be fun. I also want to do videos about, like, kind of news topics. Like you guys mentioned this Panera lemonade thing. I would like to talk about that. I also have a couple of, like, completely, like the Panera thing, unrelated to news figures, unrelated to pop culture, unrelated to influencers, just like topics that I saw people talking about or that I saw news articles about that I was like, this is fascinating. And I want to do all of this in a stream format rather than videos, because I think that my biggest flaw in how I went about my channel thus far was perfectionism. And that made it super stressful for me. And I think that is what contributed to my videos feeling not like a discussion, but feeling like a research paper that I was unloading onto my audience and then saying, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, as if I cared, like, ah, so you didn't end up getting picked for that. That's a long day. I'm for your circumstances, I'm glad you didn't end up getting picked. Um, the what was my train of thought on? Dang it. Hold on, I'm getting the Wi-Fi sign again. But I want to have a lot more variety. I want to do streams so that I can discuss things with you, open up our sphere of influence outside of just influencers, because I think the one thing we can take away from my deep dive era is that most influencers are not good influences or there are plenty who are, but at the end of the day we're all flawed and we can't look up to them as though they're gods and goddesses and some kind of magical, mystical, perfect beings that they're not. So we need to expand our spheres of influence. And I want to do that on this channel. I also, some streams, I'm hoping to do less streams that are this long. Like for example, there's a 15-minute video that I saw today that I'd like to do a reaction about. So for a 15-minute video that I'm reacting to, maybe it would be a 30-minute stream. Maybe it would be like a quick little one-off. And it might be also the type of thing where I film a one-take video that's essentially feels like a stream, and then I just post that instead of, like, if I can't figure out a good time to stream. I'll put it on a t-shirt. Yes, exactly, Mina. And the goal with this is, like, I really, really have loved the opportunities that I've had to get to know each of you individually to the extent that I can. I know we are parasocially pals and I don't know you guys, but to the extent that I know you, especially those of you who are here right now, an hour and 47 minutes in to this expose, like oversharing or whatever. Yes. I will try to figure out a Meticulous Bitch merch, Meticulous Bitch era, something like that. Ooh, I'm in my Meticulous Bitch era. I don't know. That's too Taylor Swifty. I don't know. You guys tell me. Spot me some ideas while we're wrapping up. I think that my goal is not necessarily to continue doing the whole Meticulous Bitch thing. Although, because I think that, like, for me, when I deemed myself that, it was at a time when I felt that I was. I no longer feel like a meticulous bitch because my brain just doesn't feel the same that it did back then. After everything I've been through and after all the sleep deprivation. And with that being said, I still thoroughly enjoy my audience who loves and responded to that kind of stuff. So I can put out merch if everybody wants it. But that's not going to be the only side of me that you see from now on, essentially. We're going to expand our horizons. We're going to get multiple shades of Hannah. Who knows? I might even yell about something I'm enjoying. I might yell about something good. I might not even yell, like in this whole video. I don't think when I had the opportunity to yell, I didn't really choose to yell. I'm not necessarily super yelly as much as, like, passionate. I don't know. Anyway. So yeah. for the sake of managing my time, because my work is much more demanding, is another reason why I feel like I need to do streams. They're going to end up being more in the mornings on the East Coast because that's the time that I have. My job ends up starting around 3 p.m. most evenings so like I leave home at 2 o'clock to get to work for 3 p.m. My schedule's going to change a bit in the summer, so like we'll see. But I'm hoping that I can stream like 2 or 3 times a week with this format of like kind of not trying to be a perfectionist, having an open door of discussion so that if I get something wrong over here, I can quickly address it like within a day or two on the next stream and not feel like I I like having this more open door of communication so that we can keep talking. Like I like you guys. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but through YouTube, through my channel, I've met some really truly wonderful, lovely people, and I like being able to communicate with you live, and or at least through more frequent, yeah, content and uploads and whatever I choose to do. So I hope you're on board with that. I think that those of you who are here in this chat are certainly. And if you're not into live streams or like if you feel like it's not worth it for you to I love a replay crew. I'm usually on the replay crew for my people that who are streamers that I watch. But if that's not for you, that's okay. I think I will start YouTube memberships though, because I'm planning to mostly stream going forward, because I don't have time to edit at the end of the day is what it comes down to. And I also get very perfectionist about my editing, which is why it takes me so goddamn long. And because I'm going to stream majority moving forward, YouTube memberships have fantastic perks for streaming. And I did a Patreon in the past. I was not good at running a Patreon. I'll be honest about that. I tried. I wasn't very good at it. But with YouTube memberships, there are so many perks that YouTube provides that for specifically live streams that it feels like a much better marriage than making you go off to another platform to support me somewhere else where I don't feel like I'm even going to necessarily be able to provide more content, because I'm going to really try to be talking to you more over here on YouTube more often, So, that might be incoming, some merch, some memberships, that kind of stuff. For fun, not for the sake of like, I want to make money, but like, people have been asking for Meticulous Bitch merch for 2 years. Memberships are, because of how YouTube works, they're so valuable for streaming, and I'm moving into streaming. Oh, hi! Happy birthday to you! Congrats, happy birthday! Birthday twins, oh my god. You and me and Aphrodite. So I'm hoping that the changes ultimately become a positive experience for you guys, not just for me, is the moral of the story. More topics, more variety, shorter streams, because because hopefully, not everybody, I know we're approaching 2 hours here. Not everybody has 2 hours to be sitting around to learn about a topic. And I'm going to try to, make myself a little bit more concise over time. It'll improve as I get used to doing lives. But, that's my hope and my goal, is that it'll be better content for you, better for me, better community in general feeling. And that's something that I'm really looking forward to. One thing that I'm thinking about for members, like members only kind of stuff, there are some series that I have been wanting to like watch and react to. Usually, like for example, Shiny Happy People. I don't think that's something that I can show myself reacting to publicly on YouTube, because I think copyrights would like destroy me. But it might be okay for members only live. It might work if I do it like in kind of like a secret, not everybody seeing it kind of way. I don't know. Other stuff that's a little bit more copyrighted like that, or other like kind of like AV club or book club kind of stuff where we watch a series together and then once a month we all come together to talk about it or something like that. Or, you know, we could just do like kind of a standard members only live Q&A or like game night or something. But I feel like it's a good place to talk about topics that might not fly on standard YouTube. So that's just something I'm thinking about. If you have ideas regarding members, perks, members only live topics, that kind of stuff, let me know in the comments in the chat. Also, I literally, I don't know if there's more. Jackbox? Wait. What's Jackbox? I bet it's good, but I just don't know what it is. I'm not good at knowing things these days. I've been a bit, remember hyper focus? I've been a bit hyper focused recently on the Karen Reed trial because, my God. Oh, what a trial. What an experience. Ooh, it's a good game. Oh, I like video games too. Like I could play some video game in some members only live, but this sounds like a not video game, but like a card game or like a party game kind of thing. Let me Google it. What am I doing? Ooh. It's a game that you play with a mobile phone. Think of Kahoot. Ooh, it's fun and you can play on stream, but with a bit of a delay. Okay. I'll look it up. Party games that you can play in person or online with your phone as the controller. That's fascinating. Yes. I might need some help figuring out how to do these things, but yes, because I'm not super techie. But yes, I like the idea. Yes, yes, yes. Yay. Awesome. I like it. Party once a month. Yeah. Member party. Rather than just like more tough topics to dive into. I think we can do that. Or maybe we can book club or AV club stuff that like it doesn't all have to be depressing like shiny happy people. It could be more just like interesting stuff that because of copyright we wouldn't be able to really talk about on YouTube. But I also like the idea of party games. We can do that. Yeah, so have I covered everything? Ooh. Um it's fun and not that hard to stream. Good to know. Good to know. So, yeah, I have a topic on my mind. I posted about it in the Discord, which I want to open up the Discord, by the way. It was previously a Patreon only Discord, and I want to open it up to more people. Literally, the last time I made a post in the Discord about wanting to do that, like 3 days before I went to the hospital, and then I forgot to follow up on doing that. So that is a plan of mine to get the Discord open and available and free for everybody. I need to reach out to one more person who I said I was going to reach out to about modding, and I feel so bad because I haven't reached out because again, I ended up going to the hospital like 3 days later, and I felt so bad. So I need to reach out to that person. And if there's anybody else who wants to help mod when I open the Discord up, let me know. Either if you're already in Discord and you want to message me, go ahead. Or if you want to message me on Instagram at prettyhippieme or email. Email is the word I'm trying to think of. I definitely need to go to bed. Email me, Hannah needs to yell at gmail.com. Volunteer. Yeah. So just to summarize, I've gone through some shit. I'm coming out on the other side. I'm trying to make my channel more sustainable for the future for myself and more interactive and more of a community with you all because I like you and I've missed you and I want to do stuff with you. That's always been my goal from the beginning, but I kind of went astray going down the deep dive path. So I would say the deep dive era, by necessity, is mostly over. Not saying that I'm never going to do it again, but that it's going to be more like the Oz stream that I just did, except more organized because I feel like I rambled a bit too much in that one. But where I'll just do a stream that is that deep dive. And we're going to cover more topics. I'm going to especially be interested in covering legal topics and watching trials as a jury member. Whether that will be a series on my channel or whether that will turn into a separate channel remains to be seen, depending on what's the best way to do that. I want to start talking about, articles that I see, some influencer stuff, some celebrity stuff, just whatever interests me at the end of the day. It could be, honestly, some hair care shit. Because you know what nobody's talking about? How almost every single hair product has protein in it. And if you're like me and you have low porosity hair, it ruins your hair for your whole entire life. And then you find out a month before you turn 31 that protein has always been the problem for your hair and that it's nearly impossible to find protein-free hair products. But then once you do, it's soft for the first time ever. Like the betrayal, the years of struggle to find out that this was the one key. I have a rant ready to go on that. I also, so it could be stuff like that. That's a little bit more light. I would like to talk about light things. If you watch my James Charles series, I end each video being like, maybe next time we'll talk about something lighter. Never did. Because, well, to be fair, shit kept happening that was very heavy and dark. But, I'd like to follow through on that sometime and make my channel not just like a depressing place. Well, you know what though? Maui Moisture, almost all of them, because protein can say the word protein in it, or it could be polyquaternium, or it could be, what's the other one? It's this super long guar hydrogen chloride is another protein that's in so many hair products, but it doesn't say the word protein, but it is. Hydrolyzed whatever is a protein. Like it's so annoying. I'm so mad. I'm happy that I found it out, but I'm so mad about the 30 years that I spent thinking that my hair was shit when it's not. It's just protein overload for like 30 years. There's the summary of whatever I would say about hair care rant if I did a hair care rant. Anyway, I think you get the idea. Are we all good? Do we think we're on board with this? I have a Fudgy the Whale in the freezer downstairs that's calling my name for my birthday cake. So, ooh. Function of Beauty, is that one of the custom hair care lines? Because I know about Pros, but I feel like Function of Beauty is too. Ah. My hair needs a balance of both. I have to have multiple conditioners that I alternate, but that, at least you know that, Get your Fudgy the Whale. I hope to try one someday. Mina. What is Fudgy the Whale? What? Okay, hold the freaking phone. Hold on, everybody. Do you have a Carvel? It's an ice cream cake. Do you have a Carvel in Florida? Disney's from Florida. Maybe Carvel is just more in the Northeast. But let me just real quick. Um, hold the freak up right now. Hi. Thank you. Okay. Fudgy the Whale. A ice cream cake extraordinaire. Why are my setups? There we go. No, that's too big. Um Okay, I think it's a New England thing. Now, it's a classic Carvel. It's taken different forms. So you can see here this blue and white one. This one has crunchies in the middle. Okay. The one that I got, or my fiance got for me last night, does not have crunchies in the middle. It has crunchies that come separately that you have to put on top or put somehow in and around. I don't like that. I like it when an ice cream cake comes with the crunchies in the middle because that's the only part that makes it cake. Otherwise, it's just a brick of ice cream. And so I was a little disappointed that the crunchies are no longer part of the ice cream cake. But yeah, oh, this is like old school Fudgy the Whale. The one that my fiance got me basically looks like this, but has mini M&Ms all around the edges as well. So, it's cute. It's nostalgic. It's not like fine dining, but it sure is fun. And I've never had, as far as I can remember, this is a recent one. This is a recent design. I think I've never had oh, Willow, hi. Thank you for being here. I am doing good now. I feel bad that you're joining now because I just spent 2 hours talking about my journey. But I'm getting by. I hope you watch the replay. Thank you so much, Willow. Yeah, this is Fudgy the Whale. See, this one looks more like what I'm familiar with Fudgies on the Crispies, Crunchies on the inside and on the outside. But maybe I'm just thinking of an older version of Fudgy. See, look, they have a whole freaking mascot. Carvel's Fudgy the Whale ice cream cake is now also a beer. Tell me what you think about chocolate flavored beers. 'Cause that's just interesting to me. Some kind of chocolate flavored beer situation. Or like chocolate ice cream flavored beer, nonetheless. This novelty, I'm reading the article. Hold on. We have to share this screen. This is important. Just while we're here, since we're talking about it anyway. Ooh, that's some kind of an ad video about a Roomba. Get out of here. Okay. This novelty brew is said to have smooth cocoa notes with a roasted crunchies finish and would pair well with roasted or smoked foods as well as chocolate or espresso desserts. What, may I ask, is a roasted crunchies finish? I need more details about that. So it has the afterbirth of singed Oreo. Essentially, like burnt Oreo is kind of what I imagine that would taste like. Something like that. Cool. When is this article from? Oh, 2018. So this has been out for a bit. I don't know who that guy is. Why, oh, why isn't this an ale? It could have been a ale of a beer. Okay. We're done. This is fine. Ooh. Okay, if it's a stout, bring the chocolate beer on. Okay, so we've got at least one pro chocolate beer in the house. Um the Sonic the Hedgehog chili dog. Ah, I don't see the connection. Like nothing about Sonic the Hedgehog says chili dog to me. But at least I appreciate that it's a savory option. Because I've seen, well, I don't know. I don't know. Try it on live stream. I am a super lightweight. Maybe members only live. Would I try a uh, alcoholic bev? Um, because I am concerned for my own, like, it wouldn't go well. But members only, yes. Oh, it's his favorite food. Gotcha. Longtime Sonic nerd. Yes, 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 yes. Um, and I do agree with you here on this, Taya. I want brands to stop this. I went to the store and saw Twix flavored coffee. I need brands to stop making everything nostalgia bait. I would like just one single original idea here in the year of 2024. That would be thrilling to me, truly. Um, but that's another video idea, another like stream idea to just like, why are we uh own all it seems like almost only saturated and oversaturated in nostalgia bait and so little new. Like I want a balance. I want a balance. Some nostalgia is fun, some new things are fun too, you know. Um okay, it was a stout. Fudgy the beer was a stout, Disney says, and pros and cons altogether unpleasant flavor. Oh no. I can see that with the burnt crispies essentially being one of the flavor notes. I can understand why that might be the case. So, all right, folks, listen, I've got to wrap it up. Um, Thank you so much for being here and listening to my harrowing tale. Sticking with me through it. Um, I look forward to. Oh wait, what's this? Gotcha. Oh, cool. Okay, we're all good. I look forward to mixing things up, and I honestly, I think I want to stream about something on Monday. I'm not sure when when the timing of my streams is going to work out the best. I highly recommend that you turn on your notifications if you haven't already. And subscribe and like the video and do all the nice things you're supposed to do for a YouTube video, for a YouTube channel. But most importantly, I don't really know what groove I'm gonna settle into for live streaming. So I just hope you turn on your notifications, because it might, like, I'm gonna try to schedule my lives at least 45 minutes before I go live, so that hopefully you get the notification. But I might not be able to do like the in 30 minute, like the 30-minute warning notification is the one that I want you guys to get. But I might not be able to plan it that far out. Some days I might just like pop right on live. So I hope that your notifications are on. And I'll let you know about member stuff. I'll let you know about merch as soon as I can. I'm trying to be careful not to overload myself now that I'm just getting my sleep under control. And I know that you guys are very like fine with that. So I might start out at like 2 a week instead of 3, and just kind of get it under my belt a little bit. But we'll see. I'm not closing the door on anything at this point. I think that's kind of the point of the channel, is to not put myself in any narrow category other than I want to talk about stuff. All kinds of stuff. So let's do that. Cool? All right. I'm going to run. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a fantastic night. I hope you take a breath detox from this kind of the intensity of this conversation. And don't drink caffeine at 10 p.m. like me. Don't do that, especially if you're going to come online and complain for 2 hours about having insomnia. Sorry. Okay. Bye. Have a great night. Peace be with you always.